Hey everyone, my name's Ryan, and I'll be guest hosting your Just Peacemaking class this week. We're going to be talking about just war theory and this book here by Michael Walzer called Arguing About War. Michael Walzer is a very interesting figure. He's very widely read, not just among theologians and ethicists, but also in the military, especially among military ethicists, and among international relations scholars in academia. He's also something of a controversial figure, so as you'll no doubt be aware, having read the book, that he takes some controversial positions on some interesting issues, and that has given him the reputation of, he's not very popular with some corners of the world, but I happen to really enjoy his work. I admire it because I think that he doesn't really oversimplify the problems. He's also a very precise writer, and the way that he presents his views, I think, is very intellectually honest. So I really enjoy Michael Walzer's work. This book is an extension of his earlier work, most famously this one, Just and Unjust Wars, which perhaps some of you are familiar with. Also a very excellent book if you have the time to read it. This book is an extension and an elaboration of the sort of the foundational work that he completed in this book, which was first published in the 1970s. So he's been kind of on this subject for a very long time. Now, Arguing About War is a compilation of some other things that he's written, different articles and essays that he's published elsewhere for the most part. It's broken up into three parts. The first part deals with some more general issues, so some more general theoretical issues, a couple of which, or three of which, I highlighted in my introductory post this week. So the triumph of just war theory, the two kinds of military responsibility, and his essay on emergency ethics. The middle part of the book focuses primarily on case studies, and they're essentially the essays and articles that he's written on the individual wars that we fought over the last 10 to 15 years. So there's the Kosovo operation, a bunch of essays on the most recent Iraq war, but there's also the original Iraq invasion back in the Gulf War, and then also an essay on terrorism, which I found very interesting. The final section of the book, I don't know if you can call it a section, it's a single essay, sort of covers just, theorizes about what a just international system would look like, and that's probably the most esoteric essay, I think, maybe in the book. Also interesting to think about, but not something that a lot of people have speculated about, at least with the depth that he goes into it there. So one question I think that's important to keep in your mind as you're reading Walzer, and not just this book, but really any of his work, is the extent to which political communities have rights that are distinct from the rights of their members. So Walzer hints at this in the emergency ethics essay, and you can see it in a couple other spots as well, that one of the reasons we should be reticent, that we should be hesitant to, say, intervene in another nation's internal affairs is because that community itself has rights above and beyond the rights of its individual members. This is a controversial position, and one of the sources, or one of the reasons he takes a lot of criticism, especially from the political left, who are proponents often of a different paradigm called the responsibility to protect, which is a different set of criteria that you could use for humanitarian intervention abroad. Walzer is a little bit more hesitant on these issues. There are fewer circumstances in which he would endorse humanitarian intervention than some people to his left who we would normally associate with human rights theorists and rights theorists in general. People who think that if a set of individuals' rights are being trampled or overridden in some sense, that it makes sense for a third party to intervene to prevent that. Walzer says that's true in some circumstances, but we also have to consider the rights of the community as a whole and the fact that we cannot abstract political rights from the particular context in which they arise. That's a very interesting position. I find it very interesting, at least. A lot of other people have some mixed feelings about it, but that's something that is sort of unique, perhaps not unique, but is distinctive of Walzer's work, and is something that would be helpful, I think, to keep in our minds this week as we consider his work, because it raises a host of interesting questions, and where you come down on that has a lot of implications for a lot of other issues that we're going to address. So with that, that's really all I wanted to cover in this pretty short video. I just wanted to introduce myself and say that I'm really looking forward to this and engaging with you all this week. So with that, best of luck, and I'll see you in the forums.